Well, back tuning into today's video, or today's second video. I've already done the European Outlook, which you can find on my European page. Just go to the menu at the top of this page, select Video Forecast. There'll be a drop-down menu, drop down, select European. Go through the European page, you'll be able to see what the weather is doing in the week ahead across the continent. This video is going to deal more with the 8 to 10 day period for the British Isles. I'm going to start off though with a very quick look at November. Very interesting anomaly being shown by the long range CFS model for November, so I'll have a look at that in a moment. Just want to talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on my pages at gazwebbiz.com. And you roll the cursor over the green keywords, they'll display ads, but if you click through the words, you go to advertise website, and when you do that, you're supporting gazwebbiz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. So we're going to start off with the 700 millibar height anomaly chart for November. Very interesting developments from the CFS model for November. Of course, it's only a couple of months away, so we're not talking about the very extended sort of range of this. It's going for quite a big area of high pressure sitting up over Scandinavia through November. This has been gradually evolving over the last 2 or 3 weeks really. It's been gradually getting more and more extreme with this, but now it's going for a big area of high pressure over Scandinavia in November. As an anomaly, of course, there would be deviations from this through the month, but for the anomaly for the month, high pressure over Scandinavia is dominating, and low pressure is being blocked and is stuck out in the Atlantic and to the south of Greenland. What you'll be getting with this is a lot of sort of easterly and northeasterly winds, I think, coming around that area of high pressure. You'll be getting the low pressure stalling in the Atlantic, and that's really quite cold, or it could potentially be quite cold for November. An early winter would be very much on the cards, I think, with that anomaly at 700 millibars from the CFS model. You will be expecting certainly some hard overnight frost. You will probably be expecting some some early snowfalls as well on those east or northeasterly winds. So very interesting sort of developments from the CFS model for November. Could well be the fact that we get the winter going quite early this year, if that is right. It's quite unusual in November to see an area of high pressure blocking over Scandinavia like that, but certainly that's the way the CFS is going just at the moment. But it's very experimental, that model, so it does come with a bit of a health warning, but I'll be keeping an eye on it over the next few weeks, honestly. So coming back to the nearer time, the 8 to 10 day period, I'm going to have a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies. The mean flow of the 500 millibar heights. Got the ECMWF here on the left, the GFS is over on the right. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an important area in the axis, because that's when we've got high pressure, low pressure being moved around by the jet stream, which runs above. The blue colours here indicating below average heights, the orange and red colours indicate above average heights. The ECMWF is going for a big anomalous trough of low pressure to be sitting over Scandinavia and to the east and northeast of the British Isles. High pressure is out in the Atlantic, and the jet stream is coming right through the British Isles there in 8 to 10 days time. That's a very unsettled looking chart. It's taking us from around the 16th to say the 18th or 19th of September. So we would be seeing unsettled conditions, particularly in the north and the east, where it would be really quite wet perhaps potentially, and it would be very cool as well, I think, with the jet stream running through across the country in that sort of direction. The GFS here on the right is very similar. The low pressure is up to the northeast, the high pressure is out in the Atlantic, the jet stream is running through the trough of low pressure over Scandinavia and to the north of the country. Perhaps isn't quite as deep or extensive as it is on the ECMWF, but nevertheless it's the same sort of idea really, which is a cool unsettled phase coming up between around the 15th and say the 18th of the month. So have a look at the generic charts, and this is the GFS first of all. This is for Friday the 13th. We've got high pressure out to the west, low pressure around Iceland. We're bringing a westerly flow through. There's a cold front actually coming down across the country, bringing outbreaks of rain to many parts. As we move through towards next weekend, that cold front is stalling. That's what's happening here, where everything's gone very slack. The cold front is stalling, so that could be producing some quite wet weather across England and Wales in particular from Friday excuse me, into Saturday. Now, as we move through into Sunday, we bring another area of low pressure through, and with another active cold front bringing wet and windy weather to the north and the west. And then as we go out to the 8-day period, which is Monday the 16th of September, we're settling into that sort of scenario that we saw on the height anomalies, with the low pressure up over Scandinavia to the north of Scotland, the high pressure out to the west, bringing down this rather cool northwesterly wind. There's more weather fronts in the flow, bringing outbreaks of rain. As we go through to Tuesday the 17th, winds actually are going northerly here around this big trough setting up over Scandinavia. The winds are going northerly, so it's becoming very cool, with showers particularly in the north, and through to the 10-day period. We actually bring another area of low pressure through, taking more unsettled conditions to the east of the country, and the ridge of high pressure is building again to the west, and winds are generally northerly. So that's very cool and quite changeable and unsettled through the middle of September. The ECMWF is very similar. There's the cold front coming southwards through the course of Friday into Saturday. That cold front is stalling across southern England, so very little movement of the cold front from Friday into Saturday. Eventually everything gets pushed on as we move through into Sunday by this big area of low pressure developing around Iceland. That sweeps through with an active cold front Sunday into Monday. There's a really active cold front coming south across all parts, going to take heavy rain. And then the winds are going northwesterly, a real northwesterly blast coming through there. Very cool air being brought down. Another area of low pressure runs through as we go through into Tuesday. Then we're back into the northerly wind on Wednesday the 18th. Real northerly coming down. Very cool air. Would be cold enough for wintry showers over the Scottish mountains. And then as we move through into the 10-day period, very little change. Thursday the 19th, with the low pressure to the east, the high pressure's out to the west. We're getting this northerly wind coming down across the country. That would be bringing showers, particularly to the north and the east. But the main thing is that it would be very cool. We'd be going into a very, very cool phase, with temperatures several degrees below average. Finally, having a look at the gem, the Canadian model, and we bring the cold front down on Friday. Does it stall? Well, yes, the suggestion there is that it is stalling across England and Wales through into Saturday. So we do have to look at that. There could be quite a wet period in the south Friday into Saturday. Everything gets pushed on as we move through into Sunday by this area of low pressure. And then as we go through into the start of next week, again, it's the same idea with that trough setting up to the east, bringing down this very cool northerly wind, a real northerly blast. First real northerly push of the autumn and winter season. Would be cold enough, I think, to bring wintry showers to the Scottish mountains, certainly. And then as we move through to Tuesday the 17th, we take that low pressure of a trough into Scandinavia. We're still in a very cool northerly flow. There's probably another little weather system coming through here, bringing some cloud and outbreaks of rain to the southwest in particular. And then the GM wants to build high pressure through towards Thursday the 19th, day 10. We start to get a ridge of high pressure. It's still in relatively cool air, but it is starting to settle then in the south, but it's still quite unsettled in the north. That could just be the first signs of the build of high pressure for the latter stages of the month, which may settle things down a little bit. But it looks as though the middle part of September could be really quite unsettled and very cool. That's really the main thing to take from these models this morning. It's looking really cool, I think, as we go through from around the 15th to say the 18th or 19th. We could get a proper northerly coming down, the first one of the season, and yeah, that could bring some very unsettled conditions with it as well. So a very autumnal looking few days coming up, week to 10 days, and of course very interesting developments for November as well. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.